All right, the title of the stream is Not Too Much on Trae Young. You might be asking, B Souls, what makes you say that on July 17th? So, I'm pretty sure this was from his podcast. Pretty sure. Might have been a Bleacher Report interview. But Trae Young, let me just read the tweet off. Shout out to NBA Central. Trae Young expects to get the proper respect when he wins a championship. I don't even stress over it no more. I know the real ones get it. I feel like for me, once I win a championship, it'll even open up more eyes to what I've really done, especially to some of my peers that I'm compared with. All right? Intentional picture. Shout out to Luka. Shout out to Trae. And let's just look at some of these replies. He's closer to being Westbrook and John Wall than he is to winning a championship. Good luck, though. Let's see. What's this?
It's incredible. One of the guys I absolutely hate guarding, like yourself. Great player.
I don't even know what this is.
He's all NBA. You've been All-Stars. He's an All-Star. Neither has won MVP. Both has led their team to the conference finals. Yet they have a play-in game, which his team didn't make the play-in game. Your name's being thrown around in trade talks. The day of the game, thrown around in trade talks. Have not heard anyone ever say Luka should be traded. Anybody else ever heard that?
Mm-mm.
I've never heard it.
I haven't.
But you've done some of the same things. How does that make you feel, or do you even think about that?
I didn't even see this chat. Hold on.
You two are always compared because of the draft day trade. And so everybody's always comparing you two guys. Where is he in his career? Where is he? And the reality is when you take a step back, you're very close in points. I think you probably lead in assists.
Yeah, I'm for sure.
Like,
Type shit. Okay.
Sure.
But the narrative out there isn't the same. Talk to me about that and just living that.
I mean, it's to be honest with you, I don't even stress over it no more. Like I know the real ones get it for real. You know?
Okay. So that's where the quote is. Let's just this is crazy. This is crazy right here. Once I won a championship, you know. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to get this take off a while back, but I guess the timing's just right now. You know, I feel like back then it would just been a random thing, but apparently there's a clip associated with it. Not too much on Trae Young, man. Let's start there, man. Not too much on Trae Young. Not too much on Trae Young. I feel like when we look at Trae Young's career and who he is, at least in the modern NBA, he is the definition of comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's what Trae Young represents in the modern NBA more than any other player in the league. I feel like some of the comparisons with Trae Young are unfair. I think a lot of NBA fans are too harsh on Trae Young. Now, I get it. You know, defensive deficiencies are glaring, okay? I haven't heard someone get cooked this bad on the defensive end since Isaiah Thomas in 2017, okay? When we look at great offensive players and deficiencies, Trae Young is definitely up there. I understand he's not the most efficient player out there, all right? He only has one season averaging 46% from the field. You know what I'm saying? Even with three-point shooting, he's either shooting below 36 or over 36. And even if it's above 36, it's barely above 36. So I understand the critique when it comes to him. However, I think we have taken Trae Young for granted as an NBA community because of the comparisons that we keep on making with this dude. Primarily the Luka and Trae Young shit. Primarily the Luka and Trae Young shit. Because for those who don't know, on draft day, long story short, the Hawks took Luka with the number 3 pick, traded Luka to the Mavs, and got Trae Young at 5. I believe that's what happened. But long story short, there is definitely a very clear alternate timeline where the Atlanta Hawks could have had Luka Doncic and Trae Young would be a Dallas Maverick. Very easily. Very easily. And with the greatness of Luka Doncic, most people have him right now as a top 5 player in the league. At the bare minimum, a top 10 player in the league. Whenever Trae Young's career is always going to be compared to that dude because of that alternate timeline of, like, Luka's going crazy. Imagine where we are if Luka was on the Hawks instead of Trae. But then we look at Trae Young, and this is a dude who hasn't even turned 25 yet, chat. Who hasn't even turned 25 yet. Already has 2 All-Stars to his name. Already has an All-NBA selection to his name. And for the last 4 years, has been essentially 27-10. One of the best passers and playmakers in the league. Has led his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. What is this? Playing team. This was the Eastern Conference Finals year, and I think they didn't make it in the second year. But again, in his second year, came out the gate averaging 30 and 9 in his second year, chat. I think another comparison that has done a disservice to Trae Young, and I know we're kind of straying away from that now, was the Steph Curry comparison. Hey, man, Trae Young's the next Steph Curry. I remember those conversations going into his draft. I did. And when you compare Trae to Steph, you are going to fall flat. But again, when you look at Trae and what he's done, I think he's had a tremendous career so far. I think it's way too soon to bring him up in trade conversations. Now, can you win a championship with Trae Young as their best player? I'm still doubtful on that, and if that's where the pushback is coming from, I see it. But in terms of just the backlash Trae Young has gotten over these last couple of years, I think is undeserved. Also, one of the more durable players in the league. If we look at it, last season only missed 9 games. Season before that only missed 6 games. Mind you, this was a 72-game season, so he only missed 10 games. 2020 was a shortened season, so I forgot how many games the league actually played, but this might be like 10 games as well. Played 81 games in his rookie year. Not too much on Trae. I think, I definitely saw it the most when me and Sage were doing those Bleacher Report streams. And I personally thought that I was jumping the gun calling Andrew Wiggins a bust in year 4. Back in like 2018, 2019. I remember making that video on all the backlash I got. But the pressure NBA fans put on players that are under 25 that are good, to me, it's the highest it's ever been. I think we have been spoiled by the likes of a Tatum, by the likes of a Trae Young, by the likes of a Donovan Mitchell, a Luka Doncic in these last couple of years. And how good they are coming out the gate, that we just keep on expecting more and more and more. And then we look back, and after all this criticism, this, that, and the third, we look back, this dude hasn't even touched 25 yet and has had the career that he's had and is getting so much pushback. We need to be patient with our stars, bro. I'm not gonna lie. We need to be patient with our stars. Have a 25-year-old having this much backlash, to me, is crazy. And I know chat is looking, telling me to pull up Luka's stats, and this is exactly my point. While I understand we can literally sit up here and say, if Luka was on the Hawks in 2021, the Hawks would have made the finals. If Luka was on the Hawks, they're not a playing team. They're at the very least a playoff team. And I understand it. Luka's a dog. I understand it. Luka's that guy. If I was to have a top 10 list, he would be in my top 5. So I get it. But this is exactly what I'm saying when it comes to Trae Young. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I'm not even gonna make the case that Trae Young is better than Luka. That's not why I'm having this rant. That's not. But I just think it's unfair to Trae Young that everything that he does moving forward is gonna be compared to Luka. You know? Just, not too much on Trae, bro. That's it. That's it. Is that too much? Is that too much? Also, once I won a championship shit. Listen, I get it sounds funny right now with the way the Atlanta Hawks are, but again, dude is 25. Who said he was gonna do it with Atlanta? Shout out to Eli Davis for the $5. I'll read that in a second. But who said he was gonna do it with Atlanta? What could Atlanta look like in 4 to 5 years? Who knows? But I do think, and you know what's crazy? It's the same thing with Dirk. I think even myself, I'm still a little too young, but I definitely know a lot of chat is still too young to remember. Before 2011, I ain't gonna lie, Dirk was considered a choker. Dirk was considered a choker. When that Tim Duncan, KG, Dirk comparison, I just remember a lot of those conversations. Dirk was falling third because he didn't have that ring. You know what I'm saying? And he was always getting compared to Mr. Tim Duncan, who had like 4 or 5 rings at the time, to Kevin Garnett, who had a ring at the time and could play defense. And then when you look at Dirk, bro couldn't play defense compared to Tim Duncan and KG specifically. And then he choked in 2007, arguably choked in 2006 because they had a 2-0 lead against the Miami Heat and he couldn't get that done. Up until 2011, Dirk was on track to being a James Harden type. He was on track to being a Karl Malone type. Pause. Like no weird shit. But once he got that ring, everything was put into perspective. Dirk was that guy. Dirk was that guy. I think with Trae Young, the same thing's gonna happen. We just like to compare Trae to Luka too much, and now here we are. Let me see what chat's talking about, man. I'm gonna get to your super chat once it comes through the alert. All right. What bothers me? Shout out to Luigi for the 100 Mexican pesos. What bothers me is the lack of patience and consistency from hoop fans. If by any chance Trae wins a ring before Luka, the same people talking shit about Trae would cry and make excuses for Luka. I don't know about that second part, but I definitely agree with that first part. I just think, we're lacking too much we're lacking patience with our young players, bro. Even the switch up on Scotty Barnes after his first year. The switch up on Scotty Barnes by Toronto Raptors fans after his first year is crazy, bro. Like, maybe he just had a sophomore slump. He still has all that potential. It's just a sophomore slump. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to absolve of my fan base, but the way Celtics fans are rushing Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I see it right now because the situation is a little different. We got a championship contender right now. But in 2022, first half of 2022, 2021, the way people were so quick to just split up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown was a little too crazy to me. I don't know, man. I don't know. Just give these players more time. The Jalen Green shit too, recently, motherfuckers have been shitting on Jalen Green. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Green is a perfect player by any means, but Jesus Christ, we already talking about the Houston Rockets made a mistake drafting Jalen Green when in his first 2 years, again, he hasn't been the best, but he's been solid and has shown promise. has shown potential as a player who's still like barely 21. Can't even drink it and you already giving up on him? Like this is just nuts, bro. This is nuts. Not too much.